Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I need to get my face on and get on with my day. My lips are so dry, it's ridiculous. So this is a new flavor of balm.com. This is the Swiss Miss. It smells so good. It smells just like Swiss Miss. This is my favorite lip balm. I hate to say this, but I always film in my bedroom, and my bedroom leads into my bathroom, one in my bathroom, one on my bedside, and I opened this one to leave here on my beauty table. That's 3 in the same room. And if we're counting the one that's in my purse, that would make 4. I'm addicted to, they're not all Swiss Miss, but this is one of my favorite products, and I have them scattered all throughout the house. Okay, now that I have a little bit more like moisture on my lips because they were feeling pretty bad, I'm going to start by putting some of this on my face. This is the Elevated Glow from Eldridge. This is the shade Crystal Nebula. I am almost out. I'm going to go for a real dewy look today. I hope you're doing well. So as I was talking to my kids sometime this week, one of them mentioned, I can't believe how fast the year has gone. I felt like it was just Christmas and it's almost Christmas again. And I was like, ooh, you're starting to have that whole thing happen where the older you get, the faster time flies. My daughter told me that it felt like Christmas used to like take forever to make it here. And I told her the older we get, the more it seems like time is just like flying by. She's like, I know, like we're less than 2 months away from Christmas. And I think it's funny, she's still enough of a kid where she measures time and how much time until Christmas, you know. Almost 15, but she's still thinking about the holidays. And I think that's really funny. But she's definitely getting into that whole mode of, boy, where has the time gone? I think part of that is because she's been so busy. This is the first year that she's ever had more than just like a summer job. She likes to stay busy. That's probably the best thing to say. So she has an after school job. Most kids don't get a job until they're 16. She's like, I want to start making money. And I'm like, okay. So she has an after school job. And then on top of that, she's in a play. She's in a band. She takes piano lessons and is working towards a competition in the spring. I'm just like, do you have time for all of this? And she takes a fencing class. And I like that she takes a fencing class. She's hoping to take like a volleyball like intensive course this winter. And I'm just thinking, where are you gonna fit that in? Like play practice, band practice, like all of the things that she's doing, plus school, plus work, plus fencing, plus like, where does the time come from? But so far, she's been doing just fine and getting excellent grades, so I can't complain. This is something that kind of surprised me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. This is the Hydra Rescue from Estee Lauder. This is kind of like a lightweight, glowy, I guess it's medium coverage, but I feel like when I shear it out with a slightly damp sponge, it just kind of like looks like my skin, but beautiful. So I'm gonna put this on. I was surprised that they had a shade that suited my skin tone. For decades, the lightest shade of all Estee Lauder foundations were not light enough for me. So I just never, and that was true with almost every brand, I just never wore foundation, which is why I think I love the, you know, concealer, dab it in, set with powder, you know, strategically do things like that. But I kind of love knowing that there is a shade for me now. I wouldn't say that there's a shade for everyone. They're getting better. I feel like most brands are getting better about being inclusive, and that's important to me. But I like being able to try products like this. And this one isn't new. This one's been around for a while. I think like it'll be 3 years at the beginning of, I think it came out in 2020. That's when I think it came out. And like at the beginning of the year in 2020. And it's been out for almost 3 years, but I wish I had seriously looked at it. Part of the reason that hasn't happened is that the Macy's that used to be here, the only department store that was here in the town that I live in a small town, was a Macy's. And my small town Macy's closed in 2020. And it wasn't, you know, pandemic related. It was more along the lines of, you know, they were closing stores in general and the small ones kind of got the axe. So mine went the way of the dodo. And the next closest Macy's or any department store is like about an hour and 10 minutes away. So I kind of have to want to go there. And I don't frequently because there's so much I can just get like shipped straight to my door. But it's hard because if I don't go to like an Estee Lauder counter, I feel like those brands, Estee Lauder, Elizabeth Arden, Clinique, Lancome, like a lot of the ones that you would see at large department stores, they're just not on my radar. Now, if I see them at Sephora or as I'm, shopping through Sephora, the Ulta website, then I'll kind of think about it. But I feel like this would have been a great foundation for me to have tried a while ago, because I really feel like it does a good job of making my skin really balanced. I feel like a lot of the unevenness, the redness, some of that like slight freckling is just kind of evened out. I feel like it makes my skin look really pretty, and it matches so well. I love this Glossier Stretch Concealer. This is one of my favorite things, and I'm just gonna use my Angie Hot and Flashy A506 and just kind of tap it in where I need it. So my youngest daughter is really busy with school too. I know that I'm fortunate. I have two kids who they love to read. They enjoy school. They're quite studious. They always do well in school. They're really respectful and super helpful. I have amazing kids. I know that. And we were last night at, my youngest daughter plays violin. We were at her first orchestra concert of the year. There's 3 orchestras at the school that she goes to. There's the beginning orchestra, the intermediate orchestra, and the advanced orchestra. And she's in the advanced orchestra. And last night, the advanced orchestra was collaborating with the local high school orchestra, and they were doing a whole concert together. And I was like, wow, after 2 months of practice, they're already doing a concert. It was really good. So my kids are super busy, like super busy. And I feel like, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden they are in all the things, all the things. So we are kind of going hither and yon, left, right, and center, trying to get the kids to all the places that they need to be. And I'm definitely feeling like I am not keeping it together. My husband started making like a family calendar, and I know people have been doing that forever. I used to be like, I can figure it out. I tend to be the sort of person who likes to write things out by hand. Part of it is if I physically take the time to write it, I'm more likely to remember it. Even if I don't have my device with me, even if I don't have like the Google Calendar accessible, I'll remember because I've taken the time to literally write it out. And so that's kind of like how I know what works best for me, but my husband's like, I want to be able to send it to the kids so they know, like if they're talking to friends, hey, let's get together this weekend, they can look at the Google Calendar, go, oh wait, we have family coming, or oh wait, we have a performance, oh wait, Ava has play practice, just kind of remember all of those things. And I feel like I'm past the point where there's so much going on in my family, I am not able to remember it all anymore. So I have finally given in, and I live off my Google Calendar. And I shamelessly, like refer to it for everything. I'm gonna take just a minute and put a little bit of the Wowder underneath the eyes, and I will set the rest of my face strategically with the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. This is the new 36 brush from Rephr. I'm kind of unsure what to do with it. It's kind of, got a little bit of a slant to it. I thought it might be good for setting, I'm gonna make sure my under eyes aren't creasy. Setting the under eye. One of the things that I discovered this year that I have really fallen in love with is Rephr brushes. And I know you're probably going, they've been around for a while. Why so late to the party? I don't know. And I don't know that I ever would have like decided to make a purchase from Rephr if it hadn't been for the fact that one of them was sent as a gift with purchase from M. I got a number 5 brush when I made a purchase earlier this year, and I was like, this is an amazing brush. I think I need more. And so this is, I think, my 3rd order of brushes. They came out with a whole new set, and I really like the way that they work. I like the way that they feel, super soft, and I like the way that they wash up. Not all brushes wash up really well. These really do. I love these guys. So I would love to know what you are up to. Are you already planning for Thanksgiving? Do you have plans for the winter holidays? Are you traveling? Where are you going? What are you doing? Is it feeling more like the before times, like we're getting together with family, we're doing things? So I'm gonna put on some of this. This is the Solar Paint from Glossier. I'm gonna use this as kind of like a light bronzer today. My brother and his family came to visit us last week. And I haven't really seen my niece that frequently. She came, well, my brother and his family came from when my daughter graduated from 8th grade this summer. It was like the end of May, beginning of June we saw them, but I really hadn't seen them very much. And they live about 8 hours away. It's not the easiest drive in the world, but it's not insurmountable. But before that, we just hadn't seen them for like 2 years. And I had this moment where I realized she's 4 and she's just barely starting to remember things. And she was a little shy with me. And I was like, she's my niece. Why is she shy with me? And I was like, oh, because we really haven't seen her much in her memory. Because like when you're 4, you know, you might remember a year ago, but you don't remember 2 years ago. I don't know, maybe. I don't think so. I think that the last time I had seen her, she had just barely turned 2, and then everything got shut down and I didn't see her. And I'd chat with her over like FaceTime, or we'd talk on the phone occasionally, but normally a little kid just wants to run around. They can't be bothered with talking with whoever is on the iPad or on the phone or whatever. And so she was a little shy, but I had the best time with her. And it just made me remember how joyful 4-year-olds are. I have a 14 and a 12-year-old, and they're joyful too, but you know, we hear about some of the school drama and what's going on, and you know, how do I handle my social anxiety? And my 4-year-old niece, just joy. Everywhere she went, joy, joy, joy. It was so much fun. And my kids were like, she's hilarious. I'm like, you guys were like this before you worried about like, you know, what kids at school thought. Because when they started school at 5.5, when they went to kindergarten, they were really joyful, but somehow being in a room full of other kids, they ended up getting a little self-conscious and they lost some of their sparkle. And I feel like also the fact that, you know, my youngest is still in middle school and my oldest is in high school as a freshman, they're still kind of like, what's everyone doing? What do they think? You know, they're kind of running around in their own mind, and they'll get to the point where they don't care anymore and they're back to, I choose joy. But to see it in their cousin who's 4, I was like, yep, isn't this just the best? We just love spending time with them. It was so much fun. This is not a ColourPop eyeliner. This is a Lisa Eldridge Enlivening blush. This is the shade Dante's Dream. This is one of my favorite shades. The reason it's in here is the squeezy tube packaging it came in failed. And they were so nice. I contacted them. It happened, I think, this summer. And I said, hey, by the way, I reached out to them and just said, I'm not expecting a refund. I'm not expecting a replacement. I just wanted to let you know that the packaging for the blushes isn't working. And I've had these for about a year. And I thought, you know, a year, it's not as if it hasn't worked and I haven't enjoyed it. And they were like, no, that's not right. Let us send you your money back. They gave me a gift card. And I was like, wow, even after a year, I was super impressed. But I have been using that, I forgot when I made a purchase of lipsticks this summer, completely forgot. But I used it when I was buying Liquid Lurex this fall. But I cannot wait until this formula gets re-released, and I'm curious to see what type of packaging, whether they're still going to be using squeezy tube packaging or whether they're going to be doing something that is just a little bit different. I don't know. I feel like the product is a little bit drier than when you first would squeeze it out, but it's still like a really nice cream. It works really well. I like that I can build this up or kind of keep it sheer like this, and it's fine. I'm going to put on another layer of Crystal Nebula. Oh, I'm in desperate need of some eyebrows. I'm going to pull out my Benefit Gimme Brow Volumizing Pencil. I have really enjoyed this pencil. Came out this summer. I picked it up in August kind of on a whim because it's been a while since I've been devoted to a Benefit brow product, but truthfully this is just super easy and it looks good. There are fibers in the pencil. That is cool. It sharpens nicely. It is kind of more like a powdery feel to it, but I feel like it really bulks up my brow without making it look like too sharpy. It's not too Instagram browy. I mean, it can get that way. Anything can get that way if I'm not careful. I was just telling you how it doesn't get to be too like bold and too much, and I think I just kept going too much. My eyebrows are a little stronger than I would normally make them, but we'll live with it for today. I'm just brushing a little bit of clear brow gel. This is the Control Freak from NYX. For my eyes today, I'm going to be using the Garnet Petit Four from Viseart. It looks like this. It's been a while since I reached for this, and when these debuted last fall, this was the one I was the most excited for. This is the reason right here, this kind of cranberry beautiful eyeshadow is the reason I was so excited for this, and then I didn't use it that much. Not just this palette, but especially this shade last fall. So I think I'm going to do my best to kind of, you know, let's use this to its fullest potential. I'm going to start by taking this kind of matte shade. It's the only matte in the palette. And I'm just gonna take it like right up here underneath the brow bone. This is kind of a really chunky brush. This is the number 33 from Rougher. I'm gonna go into this more kind of browny copper shade. And I'm just going to, oh, I really like this brush for just kind of lightly tapping on color. It's a little large, but I'm not mad at it. I'm going to take my color switch and knock off as much of this kind of browny metallic shade as I can. And then just use this giant brush here to see if I can kind of blend and diffuse. I'm also going to pick this cranberry shade up with this kind of larger brush and then just see if I can get kind of like a really pretty wash over the rest of the lid. I don't want it like full pigment, and maybe we've already passed that point. Leave it to me to use one big chunky eye brush for the whole look. I've been doing that. I get lazy sometimes and I can't be bothered. But I really love the way this feels. It's so soft. And I'm going to pick up this kind of coppery metallic and just tap it on the middle of the eye. Just to bring a little bit of light. I picked up this KVD tattoo pencil liner at Ulta. Somebody in the comments said, hey, have you tried the new, and this came out a while ago, it's not new, but I've always been wanting to find something that I can put in my upper waterline, and when I blink, doesn't instantly transfer to my lower waterline. The one thing I'll tell you is when I was in store and I was trying this on, I just have the shade Trooper in black. I drew a line like this. I gave it a little bit of time, and then I came back and I could not smudge it. That so excited me. This is also one of those pencils that advances. It's got a little twist up here. It's not sharpenable, but I wondered, I know this is a lip liner, but some of my other pencils like this come with a little mini sharpener, and part of me wonders if I can sharpen this to get even a sharper line. Yes. Oh, love. I'm going to start this like right in between the lashes. I feel like that's where I struggle the most, is blanking out those gaps between the lashes. I also scraped off the little bit of the black eyeliner from the sharpener I used, and I'm using a brush, and I'm just going to use this to kind of give myself, I feel like I don't want to waste it. I mean, it's 20 some odd dollars. So if I can, you know, with a brush, make use of this product, I'm going to. Is there ever a liner that doesn't transfer when you blink? If you know of one, please tell me. My goal is always to kind of blank out the waterline above, but not the lower waterline. Because when I put dark in my lower waterline, it just makes my already small eyes look smaller. My goal really though is to make sure that my lashes look as long as possible. So if I blank out the upper waterline with something dark, I don't have that little flesh toned gap between like where my lashes stop and my eyeball begins. It's just kind of like a visual. You might already notice that I do have a little bit of darkness in my lower waterline. It's not a lot. There is just a hair of transfer. I'm curious to see if I clean it out with a cotton bud, will it come back later? Sometimes I have formulas that I can, you know, okay, there's a little transfer after application, it's finally set, I wipe out what's in the lower and it doesn't ever come back. That is something I'd be willing to do, just that extra step to kind of blank out that upper waterline and make my lashes look that much longer. But if it continues to do this, I don't know, this may not be my favorite eyeliner. I'm going to use the Essence 8 Hour Stay Lip Liner, and this is the shade Now or Never. It's kind of like a deeper red. And I'm going to put on this Lancome lipstick. This is the shade Lucky in Love. This was a limited edition Valentine's heart-shaped lipstick from earlier this year. I haven't worn this as much as I would like to, but that's why I put it in rotation for November. Okay, I love this look. You know I love a red lip, and I like this deeper kind of almost bricky red. It's so pretty, so pretty. I also really like having leaned into kind of this more cranberry or reddish tone here in this palette. I like that I use this kind of chunky brush. This is the number 33, and I like that I was using it kind of like a wash, so I didn't get too much pigment and just enough. Also loving that I left the cheek a little dewy, using, you know, liquid products that way, and just setting my T-zone. I feel like on the days where I don't have to go to work and I'm not in a mask all day, this is definitely the sort of look that I really enjoy. And this, yes, I have been reaching for this quite a bit. If you haven't tried it and you like a glowy medium coverage look, you might actually really like this. If you have dry skin, you might like the glow and the moisture that comes in here, because like moisturizing makeup is literally part of the name. Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup. Thank you so much for watching today. Let me know what you got going on. Are things just getting busier and busier and busier and busier until we get towards the end of the year? Let me know what you have on your plate. Let me know how you're kind of handling any of those stressful moments. If you feel like a little like me, it's like I'm a little overwhelmed. But if things are going well and you're like chill and enjoying fall, yes, tell me all about it. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.